Hey guys, Rhett here from This Old Grill. Coming to you live today on TikTok. First time that I've really done much with the live platform, but just kind of giving you an idea of what's going on. Now, I don't know why it shows the background of my garage, but it's a mess. But anyway, hey, welcome to This Old Grill. I've got my new to me Old Country pits. Got it fired up, got the charcoal getting started here. We're gonna do a biscuit test today just to kind of see how it cooks. And I'll give you an idea of how this is set up here. So I've got a basket that I had in my Oklahoma Joe in there for the firebox. And then I took the baffle plate that they come with from Old Country Pits. And if you can kind of see it down there, maybe you can't. Let me get my handy dandy flashlight here so that you can see it. I've got the baffle plate down there underneath the grate to try to even this thing out and just really give it an overall cook for the first time just to see how it does. So we're just going to see what it does today. We'll set this back up so you can kind of see what's going on as that fire really gets kind of started. Like I said, sorry about the mess in the background. I really just got my garage cleaned out, and it's raining today. Really wanted to get it outside so that we could do a good cook with it, but without that rain, I would have been able to do that. But since we've got the rain going, I'm not going to be able to do that today. So I just kind of have it covered up here a little bit in my garage so that we could keep it dry. So as that charcoal gets started, we'll just see how this goes. So also bought this off of the TikTok shop. I got two of these little guys, paid like $14 for them shipped, and these little things are bright. It's really thin. It's got a clip on it. It's got a light on the end, and then a light here with 3 different settings and brightnesses. And then it's even got, well, I don't necessarily like it, but it's got a red and blue light that flashes. So it's kind of cool. I just slide it right in my pocket. Really thin design. I can have it with me all the time. Plus it's magnetic. I could slap it right on the grill if I needed to. But kind of cool. As you can see here, we've got the fire starting to roll. I used what I call one of the best fire starters that I've used yet. I don't know if you can see it down in there. Yep, you can see it there. Brought to you by Fireballs USA. These things have been amazing. I used to just use cotton balls soaked in alcohol, and those worked pretty good, but they would burn maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes before they'd burn out, and then they were gone. Sometimes you'd have to throw another one on there just to get them going, but these things burn for 17 minutes, so that gives it a really good chance to get the fire going. So we're just kind of waiting here just to see what we've got going. Like I said, we're going to get this up to temperature. I'm going to get some biscuits. We're going to throw some biscuits on different parts of the grates just to see how this cooks, because like I said, this is a new to me cooker. If you know anything about me or This Old Grill, the name really comes from This Old Grill. All of my grills are from Marketplace, so everything that I've got, it was previously used by someone else, and they decided to get rid of it. So I've gotten some really good deals. I got this Copper Edition Performer. It's kind of dirty right now. I need to get it cleaned up. I also have an Oklahoma Joe Highland Edition that was practically brand new when I got it. And then I've got another kettle sitting here. This kettle was the first one that I got. It was a Performer series. I've got a rotisserie ring on it set up for chicken. And over here I've got covered up, it's a 22 Smoky Mountain with several mods. It's got the Cajun Bandit door. It's got the hinge for the lid. a fire basket, a lava lock, diffuser plate. Then next to that, I've got a homemade 55-gallon drum that I bought off of Marketplace. And this thing was amazing. It was the first time that I cooked on a drum, and it does a really good job. Then I've got just your little guy, your little 14-inch Smoky Mountain. And then I've got just your standard little Smoky Joe as well. So, yeah, just kind of some of my grills that I've got. Like I said, they're all from Marketplace, and I love it. Love them so much. There's my sign for this old grill. It's a metal sign. I love that thing too. The guys that made that for me did a fantastic job. So, but we definitely got some smoke rolling here in the basket. Just threw some lump charcoal down inside there, trying to get this thing up to temperature. So, like I said, just doing its initial cook, just to kind of, just like I said, want to see what it does, how it cooks, how evenly it cooks across the whole cooking service. So we'll throw some biscuits in there once we get it up and rolling. Maybe get some of this smoke rolling here from this initial startup of the charcoal, and then we'll see how it cooks. The gentleman that I bought this from had it for several years, had been sitting. He took it, kind of sanded it down, gave it a good paint job before he sold it. But yeah, I mean, it's an Old Country pit, high quality. I went ahead and threw in an extra dial that I had here, heat gauge, 4 oxen. Got that off of Amazon. But it does come with the giant gauge that's already on there. But I figured why not? It had the port for it, so I go ahead and use that just to kind of see temperature-wise a little bit lower instead of right here. And this actually has a little bit longer shaft, so that you can kind of see that one's a little bit longer shaft than the one that's factory from there. So just a little bit closer to an actual temperature for the grate itself. So hear lots of crackling going on. Like I said, those fire starters from Fireballs, if you guys need to check them out, go to fireballsusa.com. You can get them off of Amazon as well if you find them. They're a really, really good fire starter. They've done a really good job for me since, like I said, I started using cotton balls soaked in alcohol, which to me was super cheap, and that's the name of the game for me half the time is, I don't want to dump a ton of money. Because once you get into barbecuing, there's just so much money that you can dump into it. And not that I don't have some funds, but I don't want to dump all my funds into smoking, especially when there's cookers like this out there that people are wanting to get rid of, that you can buy and get started with. I feel like we got pretty good flame going here. Hopefully we can get this going here shortly. Nothing better than the smell of some fresh charcoal. Lump charcoal. This happens to be mesquite charcoal from B&B. B&B is my go-to charcoal. I use their briquettes. I use their lump. Also have used their char logs. Those are actually really good as well for your long burns, like in a kettle or something. If you're just joining us, we're doing a biscuit test on this Old Country BBQ Pit that I got off of Marketplace. I have told everybody else I want to see how consistently it cooks with the setup that I have. The cooker itself has, in the firebox, it has a plate designed to hold your wood splits. I had seen someone that said that they used a basket, and I happen to have had a basket for my Oklahoma Joe, so I repurposed it over into here, and I took the plate for the wood splits and put it inside and used it as my diffuser. And if you weren't with us, I'll just go ahead and lift up the lid so that you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Once again, that plate, it's a little rusty down underneath there. Let me just slide the cooking rack out of the way so you can kind of see what we're talking about. The plate's actually a little bit warped and deformed. I tried to beat it back into place, but it didn't take very well. But so you can just kind of see what we're doing. I'm going to try to use that as a diffuser to try to even out the cook temperatures, so that, I mean, if you've ever used an offset, you know that this is over here the hottest side closest to the firebox, and then this is the cooler side, normally right here in the middle. And then you get a little bit warmer over here where the exhaust is, because that's where the draft is pulling the smoke through. So we're just going to kind of see what this does. Hopefully with this setup, it turns out pretty good. I don't know. Like I said, never tried it before. Never cooked on this before. So we're just going to see what we got going on. Also, disregard the back camera there. I'm still new to TikTok. I had no idea that it was going to show you the messiness of the back of my garage. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. You're not here for that, so hopefully you're here to just kind of see what I'm doing. And definitely appreciate everybody that's tuned in and has watched. So keep it up, and we'll get some biscuits on this thing before too long and just kind of see what it does. You can tell I definitely have some charcoal roaring down here. Fire starting to kick off. Like I said, the Fireball's fire starter, if you can see it down inside there, still going strong. Good way to get your charcoal going. Here's the box. This little box comes with two of those. Like I said, eco-friendly, super easy to light, no toxic odors, waterproof, doesn't leave any residue. So they actually do a really good job. So check them out. Fireballs USA. Definitely got a fire going now. Go ahead and close this up. Probably just going to keep that full open for now until we start getting some temperature. Now that we got a little bit of that roar in there, go ahead and close the lid down. Here on this side, whoops, I left my light in there, so that's what you just heard fall down. I'll set the camera back up so that you can kind of see what's going on. I do have my dampener open all the way here on the stack. So the gentleman I bought it from says that he likes to run it about a quarter of the way open, and then he would leave his vent open over here at about halfway. So since it's new to me, I'm still going to try to figure it out. I'm going to leave that all the way open. I'm going to leave my smokestack all the way open, and I'm going to see what kind of temperature we get out of it. Plan on cooking a couple different things on this tomorrow. I got a pork butt that we're going to do. We're going to do a shoulder. And then I'm also going to do some corned beef and maybe even some baked potatoes. So I figured it'd be good for me to figure out kind of the temperature variation that I'm going to be dealing with, since I'm going to have two different cuts going on tomorrow. One of them will obviously go faster than the other. The corned beef is probably going to cook way faster than my pork shoulder is going to. So we'll see how that goes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close down the firebox lid now that we've got a pretty good smoke going, or I should say pretty good fire going within that charcoal. We'll start building the temperature up here in the cook chamber with that closed, and we'll see what we get. Also give me a good chance to see any of the leaks that it may have, to see if it's anything that I want to take care of. Some people like to run gaskets along the smoker edges if it leaks around the door, or even within the firebox, to try to create the kind of like an airtight style setup. Do I think that's 100% necessity? No, not really. As long as you learn your cooker and you know how it cooks. If you have smoke escaping, it's not a big, huge deal, unless you're fighting temperature variations. If you have those variations and you're really struggling to get those variations and you can't control it with your dampener on your exhaust in the firebox, then maybe that's something you need to look into. One other thing I would like to note is that I am by no means a professional barbecuer. This is just strictly a hobby that I do. I started making videos for family, and I would send it in through a text message through the family thread that we have, and I called it This Old Grill. And we would just cook different things on our gas grill, and then I think I was watching Netflix and saw Barbecue Showdown, and that really got me interested into smoking. And I told my wife, I was like, that's something I think I want to try. I'd never really cooked with charcoal or anything, so I made the decision to buy a pellet grill, and thought that was the way to go. And so I bought a Pit Boss pellet grill, and that pellet grill, I did several things with it. Just kind of learning, trial and error, and what to do, what not to do, and then started having issues with it. I had to warranty the control board probe, replace that, and within 3 months it was doing the same thing, so I couldn't trust it. And I decided that I was kind of fed up with it, and the gentleman that I work with said, hey, you should try a Weber kettle. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I mean, Weber's been around forever. Everybody knows a Weber kettle. And he said, if you want one, I have one that you can try. And I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. And he said, you know what, you can just keep it. And so I tried it, and I never looked back. I started using charcoal, and the flavors that I was getting from charcoal just far outweighed what I was getting with a pellet grill. My wife didn't like the smell of the pellet grill. She didn't like the flavor that it was given. I didn't necessarily mind it, but it definitely was a different taste and smell. The charcoal was just far superior to that. So I did charcoal a lot within the kettle. Then I bought the 55-gallon drum, which earlier I was showing. I'll show them again, but some of my cookers. This is the 55-gallon drum. It was a marketplace find that I got off of Marketplace, and man, ever since I started with that, I got hooked. Also got hooked on the Webers. Ended up finding this on Marketplace, the little 14-inch Smoky Mountain. I think I paid 75 bucks for that. Paid 100 bucks for this drum. Like I said, it was a custom drum. It's pretty heavy duty. 3 stacks out. It's got 5 exhaust ports on the sides that you can make adjustments to. Under the cover here is a 22-inch Weber Smoky Mountain that's fully customized with Cajun Bandit door. It's got the hinge for the lid. I've got a fire dial diffuser plate in there. Then the Hunsaker basket for the charcoal. And that thing, I mean, it will run for 20 hours on a full basket. I also have a billows fan and a controller, and you can just really get going with that thing. Some of the other cookers I got, like I said earlier, this was the first offset that I got, which was a Smoky Joe. I got that off of Marketplace. Traded a knack toolbox that I had for that. And then I have this copper Weber Performer. It's pretty dirty. I just used it not too long ago for some wings. You can see that video if you want to check it out. And then the first Weber that I got right here, this kettle here, she's dirty as well, been sitting in the garage, but this Performer is the one that a buddy of mine gave me. I ended up adding a rotisserie ring to it, and I have that set up for just rotisserie. So I do a lot of rotisserie chicken. My wife really likes the rotisserie chicken that we cook up. So like I said, I would have done this outside, but as you can tell, nice semi-spring day here in Indiana. Everything's getting green anyway from all the rain, but I didn't necessarily want to stand out in the rain, so I kind of have it just at the very edge of the garage so that I could at least do the biscuit test. Wanted to try to figure out, just cook her a little bit before I do the pork shoulder and the corned beef tomorrow. Thanks for everybody that joined. You see there's several that joined. Probably may have fallen away by now too, but that's okay. I understand. Sorry about the back camera. Like I told everybody earlier, I didn't realize that it did the back camera because this is really my first live TikTok that I've done. So anyway, shows you how messy my garage is, and my beer refrigerator and freezer that I keep most of my drinks and meat in over there. So we're just waiting for this to get up to temperature, and then we're going to throw some biscuits on it and just do a biscuit test. Just throw a couple different ones in different areas, and then we'll let them cook for a little bit and just see. We'll just see, you know, which is this going to be my hottest point? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? We're just going to figure that out. Like I said, this old grill, what we do is we buy used grills off of Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. I actually have been shut down because I have a total of 8 cookers now. My wife said no more, so I'm not allowed to buy anymore. But this was the last one that I just got last weekend, and honestly I've been looking for something that was a little bit more high quality than the Oklahoma Joe, and I had been checking the Old Country Pits for a little while. Really wish I could get one of their G2 insulated ones. Maybe down the road I can sell some of the other ones that I've got and pick up the G2, the insulated one, and see how that is. But this is definitely one of the better quality ones that I've got besides the Webers, which just offset gives you a completely different flavor with the way that they cook. So as you can see, we're starting to get a little bit of temperature here. Slowly coming up. I definitely am a self-taught barbecue guy. I have cooked a lot of cooks that just were really bad. Things that we just couldn't eat, that we threw away. I definitely will say, if you're new into barbecue, check out all the videos that are online. Use all the different, I mean, there's so many different ways to cook, so many different, some people use a binder, other people don't use a binder, some people spritz, other people don't spritz. Just, that's the thing about barbecue, is that there's so many different variations that you can try. If you try something and you don't succeed, try it a different way the next time. Don't give up, because it definitely is something that I have found, something that I enjoy. One of the things that I enjoy about it is that I can cook for people, and that just fulfills something within me, stating that this is just a hobby that I do, and here, let me share that with you. I like to do cooks for charity as well. I did a charity cook for a local individual who was battling breast cancer, and I loved just being able to cook that up and take it to the local coffee shop that was selling the sandwiches. They made pulled pork sandwiches out of the shoulders that I made, and all the proceeds went directly to the individual just to help cover costs for the surgery that they were going to have. So that's the type of thing that I really like. I tried barbecue competition. It was super fun. And I knew absolutely nothing about it. I showed up with a kettle, that kettle over there, and there was guys that showed up with, thousands and thousands of dollars of smokers, and I had no clue what I was even getting into. I definitely enjoyed it, but it definitely was not something I found appealing, just because of the pure cutthroat portion of it. It was pretty crazy. One good thing that I did learn about it is that I didn't place last. I think it was 12 to 14 cooks. I placed 8th. That was the first time that I'd ever even put myself into a competition. So I felt that was halfway decent for never competing, to even get, to get something higher than last place was really cool. So we're up to about 175 degrees right now. Just check my firebox here. Just kind of show you what we've got going. Used lump charcoal from B&B, the hickory, and that was all started with just a fire starter that I started using called Fireballs USA. Check them out, Fireballs USA, and that's BALLZ. These are really cool. I kind of zoom in there. I don't know if you can read the website, if it's blurred out, but fire-balls.com. You can also find them on Amazon as well. But those starters work really well. I used to just use the alcohol-soaked cotton balls, which I still have. But they would last maybe 5 minutes before they were really burn up. It was good to get charcoal going in a chimney, not necessarily the way that I started this one, which I just made a video on. I just slid the fireball right underneath there, lit it up with my torch, and it burns for 17 minutes and just keeps going. So once we get this up to temperature, we're going to throw our biscuits on. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's kind of a long process here. We just got to get up to somewhat of a cooking temperature so that I can throw those biscuits on there and figure out how this thing cooks. Like I said, it's new to me, and I just kind of want to see where my hot spots are and where my cool spots are, so that I know kind of how to place my proteins when I get them cooking. Thanks to everyone that's joined. If you want, go ahead and follow my channel, and you can see different cooks that we do. I've been doing cooks. I haven't been on TikTok that long. I started with Instagram and Facebook, but have gotten a steady following here on TikTok, and decided to put a little effort into it and do this first live video. So I know it gets kind of boring just sitting here watching a smoker. Just kind of going through here looking at all the people that joined, see if there was any comments here. Not really any comments, just wow, there was quite a few people joined. Thank you so much for joining. As you can tell, it's a little chilly out today. You can see my breath here. Yeah. If you are just joining, I'll just go ahead and repeat it one more time. What we're doing today, we're going to do a biscuit test on this cooker that's new to me that I got off of Marketplace. It's an Old Country BBQ Pit. We're just waiting for our temperatures to get up to cooking temperature here. Charcoal just got started. I got a pretty good clean smoke rolling already from this thing. I can see the heat coming from the exhaust here. You can't really, that's kind of what you want. You don't want billowing smoke rolling out of there. You want a good clean heat that comes out of there, a good clean smoke. We used B&B charcoal. The hickory, which I've got over here. That was what I used. I got a couple bags of it. Got it on clearance out of a Walmart where the bags were ripped open. So we used that. Any way I can save money barbecuing, I do it. If I find stuff on sale, I end up buying it. I said earlier, for the pits I've got, or cookers, I got a total of 8 cookers. And this was the last one that I had just got last weekend, and I've been shut down. My wife said no more, we can't do any more. I really don't have room for them in my garage anyway, to store them, because I love to keep them inside and outside of the weather. At some point in time, maybe I'll put together a shed out back and I can have just a smoke shed where I do these videos and my cooks. But we're going to throw some biscuits on here in just a little bit once we get a little bit higher temperature going, just so I can kind of see how this thing cooks up, so that I know how to place my proteins as we're cooking on this. If you want to check out my channel, you can check out my channel. There's a lot of different cooks that I've done. I've done chicken, I've done brisket, I've done rotisserie chickens, I've done steaks, I've done hamburgers, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so if you want to know a little bit more about me, check out the channel. See how those videos are. I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. I'm just out here, just a guy cooking who enjoys cooking. I've enjoyed doing it. I've cooked some turkeys for friends for Thanksgiving. I've cooked it for our family for Thanksgiving. I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing it for other people. Charity events is my thing. I don't necessarily need any recognition for those charity events, but if someone came to me and said, hey, do you think you could cook up a couple of pork shoulders for us? We're going to be doing some giveaways or something, I would be more than happy to do it. If people pay me, I have utilized most of those payments to put back into other community functions by supporting other people that are either local. Local farmer was one that I had helped. He was trying to raise funds for his farm, or even helping the homeless communities within the area. Some point in time, I'd love to do a cook for just that, for homeless communities. Just throw some shoulders on and just give away food to those people that need it, because everybody knows in this day and age that everything is expensive, and whether you have money or not, sometimes a free meal is just something that helps give you a little bit of relief. And if I'm able to provide that, then I would love to be able to do it. So we're about a little over 200 degrees right now. Love to get this up a little bit higher. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and see if I can't maybe get a little bit more airflow in there. Might need to put a little bit more charcoal on it, just because like I said, I've not cooked with this before, so I don't necessarily know how long it takes to get up to temperature, but yeah, we'll just get this going here. I'd love to get it up to close to 300, 350, and we're only just over 200 right now, so stand by and we'll get those biscuits on there and see how this thing cooks. I do have a couple wood splits that I might just decide to throw on there and see if we can't get that temperature up. I'll go ahead and grab those. Probably too much. Probably too many, but hey, we need to get this temperature rolling, so let's get this up. I like to always leave my firebox lid open when I throw wood splints on, so that we can get some of that initial dirty smoke as it starts to catch fire. Keep that from going into the smoke or into the cook chamber. So we'll just try to wait until those are ignited and going fully. Like I said, normally I would only do probably one splint at a time, just because I'm trying to regulate my temperatures, but I would only do probably one splint at a time, just because I'm trying to regulate my temperatures, but yeah, it looks like my wood's finally starting to take off. I also normally like to keep my wood up on top of the cooker on the little flat platform there to give it a chance to warm up, so that it gives it, it'll take off and ignite a lot faster. There's just something about the smell of wood as it takes off. Just the aroma that it gives. I love it. What you cooking today? Honestly, we're not really cooking anything but biscuits. Like I said, we're just doing an initial cook on this thing, so I can kind of figure out the different spots on the cook table, so I can figure out exactly where my hot spots are. So that's what we're doing today. All right, Now that we got that wood going, I'm going to go ahead and just shut this lid down here. Go ahead and shut that down. Should be able to get our temperatures back up here. With all that, we should be able to get it up pretty quick here, so that we can get these biscuits on there. Like I said, if you've never done a biscuit test on a cooker, if you don't know your cooker well enough, or you're new to smoking and you want to do smoking, a good easy way to do that is to buy some cheap biscuits. I bought 2 packages, so I got $2 in it, 99 cents each. So I'm going to open those up and I'm going to throw them on different spots of the cooking surface, and then we're going to see how evenly they cook. For those of you that are new to smoking as well, obviously we've got a lot of smoke billowing out of here. You definitely want to make sure that it's not a dirty smoke like that is currently. You want to have a real kind of bluish tint to it, and you don't necessarily need a ton of smoke billowing out. This is just because I threw a whole bunch of wood in there. Like I said, if I was cooking a brisket or a shoulder today, I definitely wouldn't be doing that. It's okay for it to happen right now as you bring your pit up to temp. It's definitely not an issue, but you want to make sure that's all cleared out and not a dirty smoke when you're done. That way, if you put if I had meat on there with that type of smoke, it would give you a very bitter flavor, and you definitely would wonder why in the world you cooked it the way that you did, because it's just not going to taste right. So believe me, I've been there and I've done that. Put too much wood in at one time, and next thing I knew, I had this discolored white smoke, and it definitely changed the flavor of what I was cooking. Thanks everyone for joining. I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, this is my first live. It's kind of a long drawn out process because of what we're doing, but I figured what better way to do it than to do it with a live video. So we're bringing our pit up to temp. This is new to me. I've never cooked on it before. It's the first fire I've ever had in it. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly how this thing works. Started with a bed of lump B&B charcoal mesquite. Got that all started with my Fireballs fire starter. These things are amazing. They burn for 15 to 17 minutes to really get your charcoal going. I used to use alcohol balls soaked with alcohol. Those work, but they would burn out within 5 to 6 minutes. I actually did a test between the two, and I think because of the wind and everything of the day that I did it, it was completely open. I didn't have anything over the fireball itself. It burned all the way down within it was about 15 minutes is when it actually went out. They claimed 17, so I didn't feel that was that bad, since I didn't have a chimney over it. Or I didn't have wood over it surrounding it. It was just out in the open, and it was pretty windy that day, so I felt like that was pretty good. I definitely would be outside of the garage normally, but with the rain that's been rolling in and out, I decided to make sure that I did this just inside the garage so that I keep the pit dry and not have to deal with the rain changing the temperatures of what I was doing. Definitely got lots of smoke rolling out of this thing right now. Like I said, we're going to do a biscuit test. I'm going to go grab those real quick. I just went to, just go to your local grocery store. I went to Meijer, that's local here. 99 cents for these, there's 10 biscuits. So I got a total of 20 biscuits that I can throw on the cooking grate here just to kind of give me an idea of how evenly this thing cooks. Like I said, normally you don't want it to be rolling as much smoke as what this is rolling right now. If you're going to be cooking meat or a protein of some sort, this is definitely a heavy, dirty smoke that will taint the flavor of your protein. You definitely don't want that. You want it to be a nice, kind of a bluish tint to that, so that it doesn't change the flavor of what you're cooking. Currently, I've got my smokestack all the way open. And I've also got my firebox door vent all the way open as well. Kind of see what we've got going on inside there. Starting to smoke up my garage. I may have to turn a fan on in here before too long. Really, like for this temp, we're right around 225 right now. I'd like to get 300 if I can, just to, I think that's the recommended cooking temperature here. Let's just look here. Oh, this says preheat oven to 400 degrees. We're definitely not going to do 400 degrees, I can tell you that. But we'll get these open and get them cooking here before too long, just so that we can kind of see what's going on. Need to grab my flashlight that I dropped. If you weren't on here earlier, I got this little flashlight here from TikTok, actually. The Warsun T7. It's got a couple different things. It's got one on the end like that. Push the button again, then you've got one here with 3 different settings. And then, not my favorite option, just because, but it's got a blue and red strobe. Don't necessarily have any use for that, but hey, it's got it, I guess. You can also do a strobe effect with these if you double click the button. So I don't want to cause any issues for anybody that may be watching, but it's a really thin profile. It's got a metal clip, metal construction, and it's even magnetic. So you slap it right up there and it sticks. So pretty cool little light. I paid total, I ended up buying 2 of them because it was like $14 shipped to my house. So I'm not making any money off of these guys. I just figured I'd show it to you. Shipped to my house. So I'm not making any money off of these guys. I just figured I'd show it to you. Yeah. All right, we're gonna let this sit here for a minute and I'll be right back. Real smoky out here. Yep. I had to bring my helpers out. That's Nacho back there. That's Indy right there. Luna. Say hi, Luna. There's Luna. Yeah, they're real excited to be out here. They like to come out here. But it's real smoky because the wind kind of died down. So I'm going to have to turn the fan on. Get some of this stuff out of here. Well, I got to plug it in first. Got to plug it in. Sorry about the mess in the background, guys. I didn't realize that the TikTok created it to where it showed the back fan or the back camera as well. So now you'll hear the fan in the background. Hopefully it doesn't drown out my voice. I don't think it will, but we're getting close to temperature here. We're up around 250, so give it just a little bit longer. I'll go ahead and show you one more time what we've got going inside the firebox. Got ourselves a good fire going in the firebox. Got that started with some B&B charcoal. Obviously, I love me some B&B charcoal. Use the hickory lump charcoal to get that going, and just threw a couple wood splints on it to really get the fire up to temperature. Obviously, if I leave the lid open too long, it's going to drop my temperatures down. So we're going to go ahead and shut that down. Get that shut down. I'm just really waiting for it to get to temperature. It's not a clean smoke today. I will make sure that we have a clean smoke tomorrow while I'm cooking my corned beef brisket, and also we'll be cooking a pork shoulder as well, along with some baked potatoes. But today, handy dandy biscuit test. If you're looking into getting to smoking, and want to buy a smoker, you should always try to figure out how your smoker cooks. You can do that cheaply. This was $2 worth of biscuits that I'm going to throw on here. And we're going to cook them. I'm going to put them in different spots on the cooking grate. That way I know where my hot spots are and where my cool spots are. Temperature definitely starting to come up quite a bit faster now. Maybe I should open that firebox sooner with a little bit more oxygen for it. So I'm inside the garage, so I don't have a lot of air pull or push from wind or anything. So definitely could cause some issues there. But I'll go ahead and show you where we're at. That is the original temperature gauge from Old Country Pits. And honestly, it's just over 250. Put this light on it so you can kind of see where it's, I guess we're good. We're about 275, almost 275. This one down here, which is a little bit closer, was reading really close to the same. It's always good to have a couple different temperature probes. I also will also throw another temperature probe in there once it gets closer to the cooking temperature that I want to cook these biscuits at. So we'll give it a few more minutes here and get that up to temperature. Like I said, sorry about the background. Maybe I should have just put something over this so you didn't have to see my dirty garage. The dogs are out here scavenging around trying to find something. They know when the smoke's rolling that there's food. So love to get them some little bits of some burnt stuff, sometimes some drippings. Definitely got a cleaner smoke rolling out now. More of a smoke that you would want to cook a protein with for sure. You don't want to cook with the dirty smoke because it will definitely change the flavor of your food. Really thought this big face gauge was going to be nice because I'd be able to read it, but believe it or not, I have a hard time seeing the dial here in the red. I can see it great in the blue and in the white, but in the red, can't really read it that well, which is where this white one comes in really handy because the white one I can see really well. I got this one off of Amazon. I think it was $45 or so, but it's been a really good one. I actually had it on my other drum smoker that I got. So someone says it looks a lot warmer here than it is where I'm at. Enjoy grilling. I don't know where you're at. It is pretty warm here in Indiana. It's just cold and rainy, I guess. I think we got a high of 50 some. So not sure where you're at. But it must be further north than me. Ah, New Hampshire. I see. Yeah, it's probably a little bit chillier there. If you're anything like me, if you're a big smoker though, it doesn't necessarily really matter. I smoke year round, so it can be 15 below. I'll be out here smoking. So, New Hampshire's telling me, let's see, Connor, 30 degrees. Woo! Yeah, it definitely makes it a little chilly for sure. Welcome. If you guys haven't followed my channel, go ahead and start following my channel. Smoking some cream cheese. Yes, I did that as well. I'm not sure what you're using, if you're using a pellet grill or if you're using a Weber, but it is... Oh, you said you already smoked it. I got you. Yeah, pellet smoker. There you go. Good. That just got into it. What kind of pellet smoker do you got? Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back, guys. Nacho. Yeah, let these crazy pups in. Okay. Give them a feed. Yeah, my dogs got hungry. They knew I was out here cooking, so they got hungry. So Connor wasn't sure who made his pellet grill, but that's okay. You don't need to know. You got it for $350. That is awesome. Every grill that I've got in here, I've gotten off of Facebook Marketplace. I'll tell you, this Old Country Pit offset, I picked it up locally, about 25 minutes away from here. I paid $300 for it. So I'm all about finding something that somebody else isn't using. It's collecting dust in someone's garage. They just want to make room for it, but yet I know that I can utilize it and cook for it. So, for those that might not have been around, this is a kettle that I got. Paid $100 for this copper kettle performer. This Oklahoma Joe offset, I've got that. Did a Facebook Marketplace trade for a knack box that I had. I had $200 in the knack box, so in essence I paid $200 for that. This kettle here, performer, 22-inch Weber, with the rotisserie ring I bought new, but for the kettle itself I've got no money in that. I had a buddy of mine give me that. I got $300 in this Old Country Pit offset, and I got a killer deal on this 22-inch. I'm going to take the cover off because I haven't shown anybody it yet, but the 22-inch Smoky Mountain Weber, it's got, if you can kind of see it back there, I've got the lid hinge. You got a fire dial down inside there. It's dirty. Excuse the mess. It's got a Cajun Bandit front door. Also has the lava lock basket. And it's even got a temperature gauge holder that was put on it. $200 in that bad boy, which was a killer deal. Got $100 in this homemade custom drum. And then about $75 on this Smoky Mountain 14-inch. So if you're just getting into grilling, I definitely would highly recommend checking out getting a Weber kettle, a 22-inch Weber kettle. You can find them on Marketplace cheap. If you're using a pellet smoker and that's what you've used, it's fantastic. Try to learn how to cook something with the charcoal. They've got all kinds of different methods that I learned about where you can do low and slow. One of them's called a minion method. The other one's called a snake method, where you just snake the charcoal all the way around and you only light one end. You can put wood chunks right up on top of that and get a really, really good flavor. This says, do you wipe out or let it crust frame? Maybe you just form. As far as the kettles, I definitely clean them out once a year. This particular one I scraped out. The gentleman had already cleaned it once, but there was still a lot of buildup in it, so I decided I needed to get my own buildup in it. So I scraped it down pretty good on the inside, and then I used a dry vac and sucked everything out of it. So guys, we are right at 350 degrees, which is where I wanted to be. I got my handy dandy biscuits here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack open these biscuits. We're going to lay them across the cooking grate surface here, and we're going to see where my hot spots are and where my cold spots are. I don't know about you, but anytime I ever open up one of these things, for some reason I feel like, you know, it's a bomb going off and you feel that thing. Half the time they open, half the time they don't, so I'll just pop that open. These are just the little biscuits, nothing major, so like I said, I'm going to start and just put a couple of them in here. I'm going to space them out to where I can kind of get a good idea. I've got 20 of these to put on. We're going to see where the hot spots of this cooker is and where the cold spots are. And then I can kind of use the plate that I've got down inside there to see if I can make some adjustments with that and see if that will change the temperature range. I really know that this spot here is going to be my hottest spot, just because that's where the firebox is, and there's a diffuser plate right there that shoots down to allow the heat to go over. But I know that that's going to be a hot spot. Who else opens these and is always squinting, looking like this? They're like, oh my God! And I don't know why that is. I guess when I was a kid, I must have been traumatized by it or something. I don't know. All right, just so you guys can kind of see what we've got. We've got them all kind of laid out here a little bit differently. Probably need to get a couple up here and see where we're at. Temperature-wise, they're already starting to warm up. But I definitely can tell that this is going to be a hot spot just from having my hand in here. I can tell we're going to have some hot spots there for sure. But let's go ahead and shut her down. We're going to just see what happens here. Yeah, talking about the cream cheese. Yeah, the cream cheese, smoked cream cheese is no joke. I use, I've got a little Smoky Joe, a little 14 Smoky Joe. Picked up on clearance from Walmart off season, got it for 20 bucks. I'll put my charcoal off to one side. Doesn't take much. I'll put that over there. And then I'll put my cream cheese in a little foil tray off to the side. Season it up with your favorite seasoning. And I always hit it with, I've got a Frank's Red Hot sweet chili. And yeah, man, that stuff, I tell you what. Everybody loves it when I cook it. It's good stuff, especially with Ritz crackers. It's the only way to go. It's the only cracker I really enjoy is Ritz crackers for sure. If you're feeling it, a little cut fig will make it. Cut fig. I never thought of that. We're going to let these babies cook for a little bit here. And like I said, we're going to see where we're at cooking-wise, where our hot spots are. It's a great way to test your smoker. Even with your pellet smoker, you can do the same thing. Fire up your pellet smoker to 350 or so. Kind of lay out the different those biscuits. Like I said, I got mine from Meijer. If you don't have a Meijer, you got a Kroger or a Walmart or something, you just get the cheapest ones you can. Mine were 99 cents. I got 2 packages for 20 biscuits, so it gave me plenty of them to put across the cooking grate here so that I can figure out where we're really at. Show you what we're looking at here in the firebox. Sorry guys, this is telling me inactivity. They were going to shut me down, so I had to do the puzzle. This thing's all new to me. I've never done a TikTok live. This is my first TikTok live, so thanks for joining. I really do appreciate everybody that's joined and commented. If you're looking for a good fire starter, this is what I use. Fireballs. These things are fantastic. They cook or burn for anywhere between 15 and 17 minutes. You can get them from Amazon, or you can get them directly from their website. They do a really good job. Let me just grab one and show you. So they come 2 in a pack. And this is what they look like. You just hit that with your lighter. I got a little torch. Just hit that with the torch and they take off instantly. And like I said, they burn for 17 minutes. They're eco-friendly. There's no chemicals to it. They use, they're waterproof, non-toxic, no residue. It really just contains wood shavings, a cotton wick, and a little bit of wax to hold everything together. And they do a really good job. So we're right at about 300 degrees here. So we're gonna, like I said, let those cook for just a little bit. Probably give them, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes or so. And we'll just kind of, probably won't even give them that long, honestly. We'll just take a look and see where they're at. Normally would be outside the garage, but I don't know if you can kind of see it or not, but it's raining here, northeastern Indiana. It's been kind of off and on raining all day. It's just a real fine mist currently, but it was raining pretty good just a minute ago. Looks like the temperature right now is right around 49 degrees. I thought it was warmer than that, but 49 is where we're sitting right now. Honestly, the heat from the firebox over here feels pretty good. Probably go ahead and shut my fan off from the smoke earlier. That way you don't have to hear that in the background. Hopefully it'll make it a little easier to hear. I will show you what I do like to have though. As you can see, there is barely any smoke coming out of that smokestack. The smoke that does come out is a very clean, bluish. You can't even hardly even make it out, but it just every so often get a little puff of the white smoke that comes out of there. That's really what you want when you're cooking. If you have heavy, white, dirty looking smoke coming out of there, it's going to take the flavors and just completely ruin the flavor of whatever protein you're cooking. I've done it. I've ruined many cooks with dirty smoke and overcooking and undercooking. There's definitely a science to it. I definitely would invest in some good thermometers. I have a couple different instant reads that I use, but I also have a ThermalWorks setup that's got 3 different probes that I can run for proteins, plus a grate temperature. And I can also run that with a billows fan, like with the Smoky Mountain. It's a little fan that plugs into the bottom of one of the exhaust ports. You close everything else down, and that fan will kick on and off, determining or based off of the temperature that you set it at. And I've ran that thing for 18 plus hours on just one basket full of charcoal and wood chunks. I cooked 3 pork butts on it, and it was phenomenal. If you guys are new to This Old Grill, please check out my channel. Like I said, this is the first live that I've done, but I got several videos on there. I don't necessarily have how-to videos, but just videos that show the cooks that I do. Those cooks are anywhere from brisket to chicken to rotisserie chicken to whole chickens, turkeys, the different grills that I've gotten along the way. There's just several videos on there. I actually posted a couple different restaurant reviews as well, of things that I do. I just really enjoy the barbecue process. I enjoy food. I enjoy documenting it. It's something that I got into just as a hobby for the family. I would tell them, hey, right here at This Old Grill, and we would cook something up, and everybody would be, oh, that makes me hungry, and blah, blah, blah. And my daughter said I needed to make a channel. Here we are. I made a channel, started with Instagram, started an Instagram channel, This Old Grill 1977. Have a Facebook page. I have a This Old Grill Facebook page, and I also have my own personal where I post a lot of my stuff, which is Rhett Carpenter, R-H-E-T-T Carpenter. So if you want to give those a follow, you can. Also here on TikTok, I have YouTube as well. So any of those platforms, just check them out, and you can see what we do here at This Old Grill. So let's just go ahead and take a look and see where we're at on these biscuits. Oh yeah, you can see what's going on there already. Turn my light on. Here at the very end, these guys are getting brown and crusty for sure. They're getting cooked right here closest to, because this is where the exhaust port is. So that's where the heat's coming out. And these guys over here are all doing relatively well. They all actually look pretty even over here. I'm actually kind of shocked that these aren't darker than they are over here. Looks like this little makeshift diffuser that I put in here worked really well, and I know that my hot spot obviously is right back in that small quadrant right there. So if I was cooking on my Oklahoma Joe, I would have cooked right back there, because the Oklahoma Joe, the exhaust is up higher than what this is, which is really close to the cooking grate, which is, I wish all offsets would do that, but not all of them do. But yeah, definitely you can see that those babies are crunchy for sure. Those 4 right there. These right here are not nearly as bad, nor are the ones right up here up front, but these all are pretty even so far. Actually, I'm a little shocked, I will say. I didn't anticipate this being the hottest part of my grill over here for sure. This is why you do these experiments, because you just never know where your hot spots are. So you just never know. That's why we do it. So, well, guys, I think you've probably seen enough of what I'm doing here to kind of get an idea. If you want to get into smoking, if you want to get into an offset smoker, this is definitely an excellent test to figure out how your cooker is set up and how it cooks. You can figure out how to do fire management, which that is the biggest thing. A lot of people think, oh, I just throw wood in there and it'll cook. And they don't think about when wood starts to combust and the chemical process that happens. That chemical process will taint the flavor of your food. So setting your wood, if you're going to do that, I start mine with charcoal, but if you place your wood right up here, this will actually tend to start to preheat the wood. That way when it gets set down inside there, it'll take off really fast, and it helps eliminate that chemical process of the combustion of that wood. So definitely something to keep in mind. I definitely recommend any type of cooker that you've got. I would definitely recommend doing something similar to this to figure out how it cooks. Even if it's a pellet smoker, like someone mentioned earlier, do the pellet smoker, get it up to temperature, and just place your biscuits on there and get a different or get an idea of how it cooks. If your pellet grill cooks hotter on one side, they do make plates and stuff, diffuser plates that you can put in them. Just about any brand of cooker makes, there's so many accessories out there for these cookers. I'd highly recommend just obviously doing the research behind it and looking into it and seeing what other people are doing. That normally is where you find your best kept secrets, is to do a Google search, maybe from YouTube, or following someone like me on TikTok. You can kind of find out certain things. I am by no means an expert. Never claimed to be. I never will claim to be. I'm just here to share my experience and my journey. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. I'm going to pull these biscuits off of here. I'm going to let this fire die down. Now I know how to cook my corned beef and pork shoulder for tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow we'll get on here again and you guys can see what we're doing. All right, guys. Thanks for joining.